Hey guys, welcome back to my garage. I actually have a spare engine sitting around. They're the wonderful world of hoarding. I actually scrapped out a machine a couple years ago and I have an extra engine that I can swap in here. So let me show you guys what I can do. So we have another, this is a Tecumseh. That's a Tecumseh. The bolt pattern's a little bit different, but it's very easy to modify these things. Very easily to set them up. That's 4.5 horsepower. This is 3 horsepower. They bolt up fine. These units came with 3 horsepower. First, the remover of the old engine was easy enough. Remove the shrouds, cut off the starter rope, just unplug some wires, and then there's just 4 little bolts around here, and that's about it. Fuel line's off, but I left one in. There we go, old engine out. That took all of 5 minutes to pull this out. So let's set this aside. And you will notice that the bolt pattern is a little bit different. This one has 4 bolts and these 2 are closer. This one has 4 bolts, but they're all spaced. But you also notice there's a ton of holes there. They've set this up to run on a ton of different stuff. So awesome, should be pretty easy. The pulley doesn't quite line up in the same spot as the other one did. With it all the way bolted up against the frame, it would be way out here. So I got to put some spacers in, which isn't a big deal. So I put some spacers in, bring it over, so it's more lined up where it needs to be, and we'll bolt it on. Should be good. So this part's easy enough. I just made some 1-inch spacers, got some longer bolts, and I'll just stick them through and screw them into the block. So let's line that up about where we think a set of holes is. I think this one's it. Should be it. Get one started. I don't know. So we got all those bolts done up, but then we have the pulley tightened down so we can slide the belt on. Easy enough. Belt's on. Let's see if it grips good. Yeah. The pulley and everything's the same size. It's in the same location, so belt doesn't change. I did, besides just putting right here, the original, this motor right here, actually the way they used to mount them is they have a bolt hole through the middle of the recoil starter, and so I did just put a piece of steel and I just tacked it, welded it down there so it comes up and it bolts the middle of the starter, so that supports this side of the engine. But that's in there good. I just got to plug in the fuel line, hook up the the kill switch, hook up the primer bulb button right there, and we should be ready to go. Got the pull starter hooked up, kill wire, the choke lever. I actually had to extend it. I actually had to take it off and weld a little bit of an extension on it, but this little plastic thing was on the other one, so it all works out. I had to cut the hole just a tad bigger, but everything else lines up good. Spark plug hole, everything. There's still gas in there, so let's fire it up. If you guys saw in the last video when I blew it up, now it's going to go, but we're going to try it again. Funny story about this engine. This is actually this engine's second transplant. I had a little ugly duckling snowblower that, you know, when you fix this sort of thing, you keep the ugly ducklings. That needed an engine. It was a nicer brand of snowblower, and so I put this little engine into it and I ran it that way for a couple years. It was a little underpowered for the size of the other one. Was a little bit bigger, so as soon as I came upon a larger engine, I put that one back in. I put that in and I took this one out, and that's just been sitting on the shelf again. So here it is again, second transplant. Let's see if it fires up. Key on, that's on. That sounded better. Awesome. There we go, guys. Runs like new. So now just put the cover back on. It's all back together. This hole was a little bit, this hole was here, but I did have to cut down just a little bit in the plastic, and then this is a piece of metal actually, but I covered that up. I covered up the original exhaust hole. But the idea is you want to keep these engines as warm as possible, and they need to hold in heat so that they can defrost the carburetor and everything. But everything went back together just like it should. Looks good, works good. There we go, guys. Another one saved. Hey, if you haven't already, subscribe. Leave me a comment below if you have any questions. I'll do my best to help out. Thanks, guys. See you soon.